Hey everybody, I'm Alejandro Perez, the CGI Nerd, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at strings, some ways to use them with Python inside of Houdini. We're going to be kind of looking at the structure of the strings, some format options, and also some built-in functions in Python. Then at the end, like I said, we're going to be using strings to create some simple tools. Alright, so I'm going to create a new shelf. Not a tab, but I'm going to create a new shelf tool. Let's just call this strings and strings. There we go. And we're going to go into the script section here. And then let's take a look at strings. Okay, so here we can see that I'm just kind of starting with the title. This is technically a multi-line string, but we'll get to that in a moment. And then I added a comment for strings, and let's look at the first example of a string. This is a string. So it's not doing anything, but right now that shows that this is a string. Strings are sets of characters, so this whole section here. And we put parentheses, or not parentheses, sorry, quotes around it, and that creates a string. Then we could also do a string like this with a single quote rather than a double quote. This is probably more common in Python, but that is kind of a way that you can approach creating a string. If you wanted to create a string with a single quote on the inside, you can see that you can use the double quotes, and then if you put the single quotes on the inside, it will actually consider that as part of the string. Here we have a string that is the inverse of what we just saw, so we're using a double quote on the inside, but we're surrounding it by a single quote on the outside to define the string. Now this is a multi-line string, so if you want to do something that has multiple lines, you can do that. Typically at the top of a file that you're working with Python, you'll often see a multi-line string. It's kind of like the file information that you're working with. Concatenation, if you want to put strings together, you can use concatenation like this. So let's print this value. So I'm going to do print and then put that inside of the print, and let's open up the Python shell. And here, when we run this, I'm going to apply and then run the strings. You can say that this is concatenation. So you can see that it adds the words or the strings together. And in this case, I put a string that is just a space, and that's why there's a space here, but there's no space over here right before concatenation. So if we wanted to be able to have that as well there, let's copy this and paste it here, apply and run, and you can see that we have this is concatenation. You can also repeat a string, so if we replace this here with triple times 3, basically what that does is gives us the value 3 times. Again, it doesn't add any spaces for us automatically, so if we wanted to, we can add a space there and apply, and then run, and you can see that we have triple, triple, triple. Now let's take a look at formatting with escape characters. Escape characters are defined by a backslash. So here is an example of an escape character. We're creating a new line escape character. So we're going to have line 1, line 2, line 3, and then we're going to print new line. So let's apply this. You don't have to highlight. I've been working a lot with Maya lately, and that's one way you can keep your code is just by highlighting it. But you can see we have line 1, line 2, line 3, and that character, the backslash n, is what's creating the new line. There is a tab escape character, so you can see that indents your string. Then instead of using the other method where we are kind of inverting the types of quotes on the outside to be able to get the single quote on the inside, you can use the backslash and create a single quote inside of your string there. So if you apply and create that, you can see that we get that single string, or the quote with the single quotes for the string. We can do the same thing with a double quote. So here you can see we get the double quotes with the escape character. And because the backslash is the escape character, it gives us an escape character for the backslash. So if you need backslashes, you need to include it with a backslash, leading it to create an escape character for the backslash. Now we can take a look at formatting with f-strings. F-strings are a way to structure a string that is kind of easier to read, and it's also a little bit faster. If you are using the current version of Houdini, you should be fine using f-strings. Older versions of Houdini have an older version of Python, which don't read f-strings. F-strings have been used since Python 3.6. Right now, I believe Houdini is using Python 3.9. So basically how it works is we write an F, then we start our string. So we do it inside of a parentheses. Then if we have variables, we put them inside of curly brackets. So here I've defined two variables, var, that's equals to value, and then num is equal to 3. So you can see that we're actually using an integer here, and we don't have to convert it to an integer because this f string automatically does it for us, and then var, we can set the value there. So let's apply this and run it, and we can see that we are doing that f string structure. Now just for fun, we can do a string here that is using the f string. We can see that we're holding it into a variable. The scripting language of Python was named after Monty Python, so this is kind of like a little fun quote from the Quest for the Holy Grail. And basically I'm using the f strings, but I'm also incorporating the escape characters for new lines. And let's apply this and run it. And you can see that we start here. This is what it gave us. And it is asking, what's your name? Sir Lancelot. What's your quest? To seek the Holy Grail. What is your favorite color? Blue. Right, off you go. So that is how that works. We can also swap this. So I can say, Alejandro, what is your quest? To teach Houdini. And what is my favorite color? Green. And apply. And let's run this. And you can see that it updated that string based off of the new variable values that we put in there. Now let's take a look at some built-in functions with strings. We can convert a number or another variable to a string using the str. So we write the command str, and then in parentheses we put the variable, so right here, or the number, and we can see that it outputs 1, 2, 3. So let's apply that. Apply, and we can see that it goes ahead and creates that string for us. Now let's use this string for the next few examples. Here we're going to get the length of the string, so when we print that, it's going to give us a number based off of how many characters, including the white spaces. So the space leading and ending the sequence, that is going to be included in the creation of this number. Now if we want, we can remove the leading and trailing white spaces of a string. We can do that by, let's reassign the string value, and it's going to be equal to string, which is this original value, dot strip. So it's going to strip out the white spaces. Let's apply and run this. And you can see now it's adjusted the length of the string based off of this new value that doesn't have the leading white spaces. Okay, and then now that we have that, we can move on to the next built-in function. So, on top of stripping out that, let's do string is equal to string.lower. And then over here, let's just print string. Let's not print the length anymore, because we're not actually going to change the length now. We're just going to make everything lowercase. So let's apply and run this. You can see learning Python is fun rather than this casing that we have here. Now I am going to do another string equals, and let's change it back to upper. So it's kind of stacking. We're changing it as we go. We're making everything lowercase. Now we're going to make everything uppercase. Let's apply and run. We can see that we are not getting that. Let's try that again. Apply and run the string. And oh, it's because I didn't name the variable right. Let's do string and apply, run, and now everything is uppercase. Now, instead of changing things to the uppercase, we're going to switch this to capitalize, and it's going to be string.capitalize. And let's apply that, and let's run the script. And you can see that we are having a capital letter right at the beginning of the string, where that's the only letter that is actually being capitalized. Now, instead of capitalizing, we can do a title casing. And if we apply this and run it, you'll see that we get title casing. So every word is capitalized. And clear that. Okay. Now we can do string is equal to this. So we're going to replace the word fun with the word easy. Let's apply, run, and we can see that we get learning Python is easy. Now we have spaces. Something that's kind of common is separating things by a element inside of the string. So what I'm going to do here is say string equals string split. So we're going to split it based off of a space. So inside of the string right here, I'm looking for a space. And if I do this and run it, you'll see, oops, I got a syntax error. I have an extra parentheses for some reason. Let's try doing that again. There we go. We're getting a list, and each side of each one of these lists, it's split into each individual word. So something that you can do is, let's say, take a space and replace it with an underscore, because this is actually kind of a common naming structure. So right here you can see we did the split, but there's no spaces, so it didn't split anything. And we can see that we have a string there with underscores. Now, if we go in and replace this, so we're splitting by a underscore, and apply and run this again, we'll kind of get the same effect that we had before, where we were splitting each one of the individual elements separated by the underscore as list items. Okay, so now let's take a look at creating a simple tool here inside of Houdini that can be kind of useful. So what we're going to start off by doing is importing the Who module. And let's create a geometry node. And inside of here, we're going to create a null node. So with null nodes, a lot of times we use that as kind of an out condition where we want to be able to reference that. So we're going to first try to get the item based off of a selection. So we're going to select that node. Here we have the currently selected node. Node equals who.selected, and we're looking at index 0. This is for list. We'll cover more about list tomorrow, but just know that's how we get a single object that is selected. Right now we're going to focus just on one object. Although in the future, when we're talking about other functionality of Python, we can actually do an action on multiple selected objects. And then let's save the name of that out. Name is equal to node.name. So here, basically, what we are doing is getting the name of the selected node. And then let's just print name for right now. Let's apply this and run it, and you can see that it has null 1, which is the name of this node. That is exactly what we were expecting. Now, let's go in and let's say we want to assign a new name. So this is my out node. How do we do that? Well, we know we have that node there. And we can, I don't have a prefix yet, but we will soon. Let's just say we're creating an f string with new name and apply. And then run this, and we can see that we have a my out node. So right now we did it just by changing the name, but let's say you had a name that you already liked. So we have a node it's named, but we want to make it kind of a specific naming convention. Let's add a prefix. So I want out underscore and then the name in this case, because we already have the name selected that we want. So all we're going to do is add another argument here, and they need to be curly brackets, and it's going to be prefix. Okay, let's apply this and let us run this tool. We have the node selected, and here we can say that we get out my out node. Okay. So I'm going to undo that just so that we have that. And now, let's say that we wanted to be able to assign that to be all uppercase, because that puts it on top of the stack when we're looking at our node within Houdini. So what we can do is let's take the full name. So we're going to basically do the prefix and name just like we have it there. We've set it into a variable, and then what we're going to do is we're changing the case, the full name to uppercase. Then what we can do is put that variable into the node name. Let's apply this, and then with the node selected, let us run this code here, and now we have a node that is all capitalized for our out structure if we wanted to be able to structure it that way. So that is a kind of simple tool that is pretty useful if you want to rename your nodes. Basically, you have a name, set it uppercase, add a prefix out, and you basically need a node selected and be able to do that. And it can be, let's do a new node just to test it. It's going to be a null. And this is going to be my test one. And then we can just run this, and you can see it's out test. There we go. So if you found this useful and you want to learn how to do similar types of Python code, right now I'm doing a companion series on Python in Maya on my other channels, so I'll add a link in my description. Other than that, I hope you found this useful, and we'll see you guys in the next video.